On today's episode of Talk Legal to Me, we have an amazing guest. Her name is Jaclyn Taylor. She's only 29 years old, and she's already built and sold several businesses, one which included a cosmetics company. She now is teaching ambitious women content, social media marketing, and sales strategy. Welcome, my guest, Jaclyn Taylor. Well, hi, Jaclyn.
Hello, Gordi.
Welcome to Talk Legal to Me. Thanks for coming today.
Absolutely. I'm so happy to be here.
Thanks for coming. I'm excited to talk to you.
Yeah.
I'm excited to talk to you about your business knowledge, your branding knowledge.
Yeah.
Let's take you way back. So when you were in your 20s, talk about one of the first businesses that you ever started, because you have a lot of businesses.
Yeah. So 23 years old, I started a cosmetics business, and I got this idea when I was in college because this is when everybody on YouTube who did makeup tutorials wanted a cosmetics line. And I just thought it was the coolest thing. Yeah. And I thought I needed a cosmetics line. I loved makeup, so I knew I needed to go to Los Angeles and get out of Arizona. So I literally packed my bags within like 6 days of coming up with this idea, put everything in a U-Haul, and I was in my senior year at ASU. I was like, okay, I'm going to do my last semester online, and I went to Los Angeles. Got there, met a girl on Craigslist, threw my mattress on the ground. I'm like, that's good for me. Got odd jobs, and I found a manufacturer to help me with the cosmetics line. And when I went in for the initial consultation, they forgot to charge me for the consultation, which was, I think, $2,000, and I didn't have anything.
Yeah.
So thank God that they did not charge me. So I got that fee like taken care of, and they let me go through the entire process. I don't know why, of creating a 9-well eyeshadow palette. So that's 9 different colors in an eyeshadow palette. I wanted an eyeshadow palette. I knew that was going to be my first product. And so I worked with the lab for, I think, about 6 months, and we mixed colors together, super unique. They sent me the bill, and it was almost, I think it was like $96,000 was the bill. And they had like an MOQ. They're like, you have to buy 5,000 units. So here's this girl, 23. I just moved to LA. I don't know what I just got myself into. And I need to figure out how to make this happen. And so I started to work as a makeup artist. I loved makeup. And I got asked to do a photo shoot out in Carmel, California. So it was like 6 hours from LA. And it was a spring campaign for a clothing brand. And so I go there and I do makeup for them. And on the last day, the business owner asked if I could do her makeup just for fun. I said, of course. So I used my eyeshadows all weekend, and I used them on her. And she goes, what the heck is on my eyes? I froze. I'm like, my eyeshadows? She's like looking at me, and she's like, what do you mean your eyeshadows? I'm like, no, they're my eyeshadows. I've been making them for 6 months. And she said, this is funny that you're talking about a cosmetics line, because we've been wanting to expand into a cosmetics line. And so this was a clothing company that was doing extremely well online. And a lot of people in the boutique space at the time were expanding into tanning and makeup. So they really were looking for somebody to partner with.
Sure.
So I said, of course, I'll send you the eyeshadows and we'll talk. I really did not think anything of it. And I sent them the eyeshadows overnight. Within like 24 hours, I got an email that just said, how do we get our hands on this? I said, well, and I'm 23. I don't know anything about business. And something in me said, don't give it to them, partner with them, and put your name on the palette and make it seem like you've already created this company. Yeah. And so I'm so proud of myself for that, because I could have just sold it to them, but I established myself and my name in the process. And so, of course, I charged more for the product, like as if I was wholesaling it. And so I pocketed, I think it was like $30,000. And this is from a girl who was just like sitting on the floor in her friend's condo. And I randomly, 24 hours later after we talked about it, get a wire for like 130 grand from them.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. So now I'm sitting on 30 grand. I think I'm rich. And so we start getting things into production, and, you know, our names are printed on things. And I go, well, wait a second. We need a launch party. Like, what do you mean we need a launch party? I'm like, we need a launch party in LA because I kept seeing all these YouTubers having these launch parties.
Sure.
I'm like, I deserve a launch party.
Yeah, I worked hard.
So they're like, okay, like how much do you need for the launch party? I'm like, well, this needs to be massive in West Hollywood. And I had connections with a friend who knew Kid Ink. If you know of him, he's a rapper.
Yeah.
And so our friends got us a good deal. And so Kid Ink came and performed at my launch party.
Oh my gosh.
It became this like big talked about event that night. 500 people show up. Like there were celebrities that came through because they wanted to see Kid Ink perform. And it was the best night of my life. And that's when we launched the palettes on their website. And so we did $100,000 in sales in our first month. Yeah. And so they actually brought me on salary-wise too to help market the cosmetics brand. So it was awesome because I got paid upfront for the brand and then, I made, money doing marketing for them and got my feet wet with it and just figured it out as we went. And so this was November of 2019. So we all know what happens.
Yeah.
Come February. And so we had all these plans to expand into tanning, expand into other makeup products. And I really felt like I hit the lottery. I was like, oh my gosh, like this is an entire company at this point now. We're going to make all these products. So they call me February 2020. They go, we have to stop your salary. We have to close our doors.
Oh, no.
This is it. We're not going to do any more makeup.
Oh,
so
no.
like I'm living off this 30 grand.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I have no company now. Like, what do I do?
All of a sudden,
and I was like,
overnight.
and the cosmetics company doesn't exist because we just did a palette.
Sure.
And so at the time, this is when like buildings were closing, businesses were closing if you were not an essential business. So what could I do to keep their doors open and to keep my job? And I said, well, what if I made hand sanitizer?
Okay.
And so I went to my manufacturer. I said, do you guys want to make hand sanitizer and go in on it with me? And they're like, I guess. They're like, well, who's going to buy it from you? I'm like, I have a couple people I think that would buy it. So they look into buying an entire tank of alcohol, and it was so expensive, Gordi. Like to this day, I'm like, I don't even know. It was like a couple $100,000 for like a tank of alcohol. And so I convinced my manufacturers to front the money and buy this tank of alcohol. We start making hand sanitizer. I call the clothing company that let me go.
Yeah.
And I said, look, if you want to come back to work, I'm going to sell you some hand sanitizer.
Yeah.
Let's all just start selling hand sanitizers and get back to it.
Sure.
And so they bought all the hand sanitizer from me. Yeah. And I guess they had ties with like government, like where they lived, and they were able to disperse it themselves. And so it randomly sold hand sanitizer, during COVID. And so unfortunately, after the hand sanitizer, they still didn't want to make products with me.
Wow. You're like, I've done this twice now.
But I made a lot of money from the hand sanitizer deal. I still had money from the cosmetics brand. I was like, I have enough capital to now start the cosmetics brand.
Sure.
And so then I started my own company, and we came out with individual eyeshadows and magnetic palettes. And it was specific for the makeup artist or somebody that wanted to create their own palette. But it also saved me money because I didn't have to pay for crazy packaging. So that was like my first product going into the beauty industry. And then from there, we expanded into blushes and like contour products, skincare. Cardi B wore our eyeshadow palette to the Grammys in 2020. It happened really, really fast. But I owe it to my personal brand for building that company because I didn't even know what I was doing, but I was filming all this behind the scenes content and posting it on TikTok and Instagram, Pinterest, and was building a personal brand for myself. I was like, hey, I'm this business owner with a cosmetics line. Watch me go into my lab today and show you the process of how makeup's made. No one was doing that. So it starts blowing up. I'm like, my gosh, what, like, why is this blowing up? And so I started going in there and showing people how eyeshadow was made, how lipsticks were made. We weren't even making lipstick. And I just started creating this community of people that were interested in this. And then I started my second business without even knowing, which was consulting people that also wanted to start a beauty brand. And so people started coming to me saying, like, how did you start a cosmetics brand and become so successful quickly? and I started consulting, which then turned into a beauty agency. We started doing social media work, email marketing, and I just took everything that we were doing and pouring it into everybody else. And so I worked with 86 beauty brands and helped them launch. Yeah,
Wow.
and I had the best time ever, but totally got burnt out by the beauty industry. It was a rat race. I was out of it. I was done. I got an amazing opportunity to sell in February of 2023. And I sold the cosmetics company. I sold the skincare company. And I went all into marketing. And I found that that was really my passion, to help women specifically either build a company or build a personal brand. And so I just started to pour in and teach people what I knew was working for me, which was the personal branding side.
Sure.
And then I built a personal branding agency after that.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's
And so
awesome.
it's just like the entire journey is so crazy, even just talking about it and hearing myself talk about it, because it was just one thing after the other to lead me to where I'm at today. And I feel like it was never really beauty for me. It was me wanting to just help people get to that next level with their business. But for some reason, it was cosmetics that brought me here.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
You have like so much drive. You're so young. You have so much drive, and you've done so much in such a short amount of time. Because when you're talking about this, things are like happening within like months.
Yeah.
And I
Yeah.
mean, you've done so much from like even 2019 forward. It's incredible.
Yeah, I'm only 29, and my best advice that I would give anybody is speed.
Okay.
Just because you think of the best idea and
Sure.
you put it together and it takes you 2 years to launch doesn't mean somebody else can put it together faster.
Sure.
And so I thought of the idea of the cosmetics company and didn't even waste a day. I moved within 6 days, found a manufacturer, and just kept going. I mean, there was really crazy stuff that happened with my cosmetics company specifically, where I don't even know how we made it through. Like a month before we launched, I got robbed at gunpoint at a 7-Eleven.
Oh my
So
gosh.
traumatic. And it was like in the middle of like all these issues, like money was having like an issue being wired. And so I wasn't
Sure.
able to pay people in time. And so
Right.
I started to have issues with my manufacturers.
Yeah.
And we didn't even think we were going to get the product in time. So it was like all these things just started happening. And I just never
Sure.
stopped.
Yeah.
I was just like, oh, I got robbed at gunpoint today. Like I went out to lunch after. I was like, I just don't stop. Like, let's go.
Oh my gosh. You're just like a
Let's keep going.
trailblazer.
You know, but back to
Yeah.
my point about speed, you know, it's just like who can do it the fastest. You don't have to be the best.
Sure.
It's just get the idea and get it on paper and just go.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
And like you're proving that that actually does materialize into success.
You'll just
and
figure it out.
most of the time people are just sitting there and they're thinking of these ideas for such a long time. And they're
Or they
scared
think
to
they need to
start.
do a business plan. Please, no, we're not putting together business plans.
Okay.
Like, just do it.
Just go.
Just
do
go.
it. Yeah.
Just
I love
go.
that.
Don't like waste time with the business plan or making things look pretty. Just do it. I mean, just figure it out.
Product over perfection.
100%.
That's amazing. So tell me about your business now and how you're helping women really market themselves.
Yeah. So this is a new business for me. It is educational focused. And so I started this about 6 months ago. So it's fairly new. And the response I've received is so massive. I can't even believe it. And so I really feel like this is where I'm supposed to be now, is educating and teaching people, not just bringing people on as clients with my agency where we would just help, you know, manage their socials, manage their accounts, but actually teaching people personal brand. And it's become deeper than just somebody figuring out what type of content they should make.
Sure.
I have people tell me that they really have figured out themselves when they work with me, because I go through such an intensive process in the beginning of like, who really are you? Like, what are we sharing online, and who do you want to connect with? And so I believe in what's called content pillars. And that's just what makes up somebody when they're creating content. And you know that if you create content outside of those content pillars, you're not connecting with the right people and the right audience. So I'm very intentional with how I teach how to create content and how I personally even make content. I don't believe in viral videos or having millions of followers to be able to create success. I teach my students how to create intentional content that's going to connect with that right person that day. So they could get 300 views on a reel and it's still a win because they connected with one person from it. And, if you're a real estate agent and you're connecting with one person and you sell someone a house, I mean, that's a fat commission check.
Yeah.
That is worth the time to set up the phone and tripod and make content. And so that's really what I'm teaching. I'm not teaching people how to be the next Gary Vee or the next big thing. It's how do we give you the credibility and authority in your space, your industry, and position you as the best. But the best doesn't mean you have millions of followers. Just what do you have to share?
And it materializes.
And you're going to connect with the right people depending on what you talk about and what you share about the most.
Right. And what do you think is the biggest mistake people are making when they're creating content nowadays?
It sounds cheesy, but just not being authentic.
Okay.
People think that they have to stay in this bubble. And I hear it all the time where they think because they are a business owner, entrepreneur of this specific company, they only should be talking about that industry and company. And so I teach content pillars, which are, if you're a mom and you have kids, one of your pillars are family. Like so your family. Like you gotta share about that. If you are a real estate agent, maybe one of your pillars is real estate education and then like luxury home expert. Like you figure out what all these pillars are, but it doesn't always have to be what the business is. Like it could be lifestyle, it could be travel.
Right.
You and I aren't just an attorney and marketing.
Yep. We have more to ourselves.
We have more to ourselves. And I think now more than ever, people want to see that side of people.
Sure.
And it's all sales. It gains trust.
Yeah.
If people see a personal side of you and they want to work with you. And the personal content is what connects with potential leads. Like they feel more comfortable talking to you if you post a family video than you talking about, a law in Arizona.
Right.
Because they know if they comment on the video of you talking about law, they're going to get sucked into this sales cycle. They're like, ooh, I don't even want to ask something in this video because she's going to hit me with something going, well, have you talked to an attorney today?
Yep.
But if they comment on something where it's family and they're like, oh, I love to see this, it just opens up the conversation to have that connection and build a relationship with somebody that could potentially turn into business.
Yeah, that's amazing. I love that. And I think a lot of people nowadays are focusing like so much on that virality. Like the video has to go viral. But like back to what you said, even that one connection is so meaningful. Yeah. And if you're in that line of business where one lead can translate to you selling a home for someone and you're a realtor, that's great.
Yeah.
That's a win.
Yeah. Something that I teach my students is to go through your followers and start sending 15-second videos to people that you haven't talked to in a while.
Oh, wow.
And I have them do this like on our third call. And by the fourth call, they are freaking out because they just got 10 new clients, 4 new people booked an appointment. And I'm like, it's just sitting in there. Just go talk to people.
What do they say during these 15-second videos?
So it's very simple. My approach is to always build a relationship first. The money is going to follow. So introducing yourself if you haven't talked to this person, if you don't recognize them in your follower list, and then find something on their account where you can talk about on a personal level. So let's say they post a photo of their mini golden doodle. I have a mini golden doodle. So I'll say, oh, I see you have a mini golden doodle, Lucy. Like I have a mini golden doodle. How old is your mini golden doodle?
Right.
And who would not respond back to somebody that sends a video with no context? Like, of course, Gordi, you're going to click on this video. You're going to be like, why is this person sending me a video? And then they're asking about my dog. Of course, I'm going to tell you about my dog. And now you just open up to have this conversation where, and you can see where it goes. And sometimes you just need to nudge people. People don't usually reach out first. So if you're the first one to reach out, you have a better chance at, creating a relationship or partnership or business.
That's great. I love that.
Yeah. So just be the first to reach out.
Yeah. And that's kind of how we connected too.
Yeah. 100%.
So I've been seeing so much of your content and I love a lot of it. And I love the ones, especially on TikTok, where you're going to like different restaurants and coffee shops. And I'm like, I need to bookmark these because I want to try these places and it looks really good. And you're describing what you're getting. And I'm like, okay, so now I'm going to go to Oceans 44. I'm going to get the dessert that you ordered that you talked about. But that's how you reached out to me. You send a video and we connected, and it's like getting to know people in the community and like sharing experiences. And I love that. So it works.
It does. And I love that you bring up about my food content on
Yes, I
TikTok
love
because it throws people off all the time. Like I just met with a client earlier. She's like, I'm seeing you post all this food stuff. Like what's going on? And any video I talk about a restaurant or food gets anywhere from like 100 to 200,000 views. Yeah, it is crazy. Yeah. And what it's really doing is it's connecting me with people locally.
Sure.
Like you. I think you actually found me from one of those.
Yeah,
maybe.
I think so. Yeah. It was that way.
And so I've connected with so many business owners locally from me making these videos and me going to restaurants.
Yep.
And so that's a perfect example of a personal brand. I love food. I love experiences. I love travel. And so that's one of my pillars. And so me going out and bringing people along of the experience of going to great restaurants in my city.
Right.
Like,
I love that.
Yeah.
And it's also showing where you're local too, because a lot of times I'll follow people and I'll watch their content. They might not say geographically where they're at.
Yeah.
And I can't tell.
Can't figure it out.
But like when you're tagging these places and you're posting, I'm like, oh, she's at this restaurant. It's local. She's local. So that's really good. That's a great pillar to have.
Yeah. And you know, anybody that has a business that relies on local clients, even you, the best thing for you is to create more local content. I work with a lot of hairdressers, realtors, you know, that really rely on finding potential clients in this area. And I tell them, when you're at a coffee shop, record it, talk about it. When you go out to dinner, talk about it.
Yeah.
And it's the one way where you know you're going to connect with people in Arizona. Because not many people are going to watch me going to Dominic's on a Friday night that doesn't live here and want to experience it. You know?
And I think the algorithm pushes it that way.
Totally. Yeah. We're all getting shown it first before California or Utah or somewhere else.
Sure.
Yeah.
And that must be how I stumbled upon it, because I was like, oh, she's going to really cool places. There's a lot of these places I haven't tried.
Yeah.
So it's definitely, you can't do someone's hair, you know, in Arizona. If they're in Wyoming, you're going to want them to be in Arizona. So that's a smart
And so
tip.
they're always like, you want me to go to a coffee shop and make content? I'm like, yes.
Yeah.
And I have a girl in Chicago. She's a facial injector. She went to a boutique and made content and she got clients from it.
Great.
She's like, I would never post something like this. She goes, I thought I wasn't allowed to post stuff like this. And so it's funny, there goes like that bubble again where you just feel like you always have to have like, it's like camera and the lights on and I always got to be polished professional in my blazer.
Yeah.
Like, no, you go to boutiques on the weekend, you go out to dinner,
Yeah.
like talk about it, share it.
That's all content.
Connect with people. It's all connection.
Right.
You know?
It's more real and raw.
More real and raw. Yeah.
I love seeing it. I love seeing people's like grocery hauls. I love seeing them go to Target. So I'm like, why would, it's interesting that we want to watch it,
I know.
but then we think it's off limits and we
funny.
shouldn't do that.
Yeah, yeah.
So,
but we want to consume it. So why can't we also be the creator? You know, Alex Earl, do you know her on TikTok?
Yeah, for
I mean,
sure.
she blew up from Get Ready with her videos. Like, why do any of us care about this girl putting her makeup on and going and getting drunk at parties?
Yep. And she's talking just about
but she's
what
got 7 million
happened.
followers.
Yeah. And it started like that. You're totally right. It wasn't like with all the
And
lights.
it's just connection.
It's connection.
You know, and that's the fastest way to build a community as well. You know, there's still some importance of growing, you know, followers and a community. I like to say community before followers because they'll support you with anything that you do. And so that's kind of what happened with me is I built this community of people that loved makeup, loved beauty, strong women that wanted to create businesses. And every time I went to the next thing, they followed me.
That's great. I was going to ask that.
Yeah, I mean, I'm going to Dubai in February to speak, and the connection was from a friend of mine in the cosmetics industry who I worked with, and she's a business owner. And so, like, that's the connection from 7-8 years ago. Now it's coming to surface.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
Talk about that.
Yeah,
what
I
are you
know.
going to be doing, and what are your plans?
I don't know yet. I literally, Gordi, found out yesterday.
Oh my gosh.
But I do know that I am speaking on a panel with some amazing people in the beauty industry. Going to do some podcasts out there and things like that and just make the most of it. There's so much opportunity out there. I was telling you that yesterday.
Yeah.
It's still such a new place in the world where it's almost like they're behind. So not many women have podcasts. Not many women have social presence or like marketing agencies, things like that. Like things that are digital are still so new there. So if you get ahead of it, you're really ahead of the curve there. So I'm just excited to go there and experience it and see what's in store. I don't think I would ever move there.
Yeah, but you're going to
I
get
don't
a
think so.
lot of great content.
Yeah,
So I'm
yeah.
definitely going to be watching. I want to see all of your fun
Yeah.
posts and
Yeah.
experiences and all the
Yeah.
creation that you have.
You know, and it's funny. I don't know if you believe in
Oh,
manifestation.
for sure.
Yeah.
I feel like we manifested this interview
I think we
right
manifested
now.
this. Yeah. But I bought an outfit to wear in Dubai when I speak one day, and it's in my closet. Yeah.
And you're going to have to
and
wear
it's
that.
happening sooner than I thought.
Yeah.
So I've never worn it. I told myself I'm not wearing it to any speaking engagement or anything until I go to Dubai. And so now that it's happening, I pulled it out of my closet yesterday. I'm like, we're going to wear this.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yes. You're definitely going to have to wear
Yeah.
that when you speak.
Yeah.
And talk to me a little bit about your wardrobe. I feel like we have we both love to wear black.
Love it.
And so I know why I choose to wear black. And I feel like it's very similar as to why you like to wear black. Talk about that a little bit.
Yeah. Well, I wear all black. My closet is pretty
Same.
much all black. And it's not even that it takes me little to no time to dress myself every single day, but it feels like such a power statement for me. Like when I wear all black, I feel great. I just know that I look good. Makes me feel more confident. I would get stressed out having to like mix and match outfits and colors, and I'm like, I do not have time to stress about this in my day. So wearing all black and having an all black wardrobe is amazing. And I travel a lot, so when I pack for trips, I'm like, here's the pant, here's the 2 shirts, here's the heel, here's the bag.
Put it all together.
Put it all
together.
matches. Yeah. And I just
love
know
it.
that when I wear it, I know that I match. I know that I look good. I look presentable. I look professional. Like you wear all black. Like you look like $1,000,000.
Yeah, it's like
no one
chic.
would know. Yeah, it's chic.
It's very Chanel.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. If you want to impress anybody, wear all black.
Yeah, I feel the same. I feel like it helps with like decision fatigue.
Yeah, 100%.
So they talk about like business owners and like all the decisions you have to make in a day. And I find this to be true with myself. You just get tired at the end of the day of deciding things. So it's like if you're going to start your day with a bunch of decisions, like what am I going to eat for breakfast? What am I going to wear?
Yeah.
Sooner or later, by the time 12 o'clock rolls around, you're going to be done on like these tiny decisions that don't really matter that you've now maxed your energy on.
Yeah. And you know, you and I, like, we want to look good. We want to look the part, you know? And so I don't want to have to think about it hard. I don't want it to be something that I'm like focused on because it's not something I care about, but I do at the same time.
Right. It's,
you know, I just want to make sure that I have a solid wardrobe, that I know I have anything in there for any occasion. And that's what buying all black clothing has really allowed me to have options. Like anything could happen. I'm like, I have an outfit for that. Like, let's put it together.
I've got an outfit to speak in Dubai as a panelist.
Yeah. And now I walk into stores and I go, where's the stuff that's black? I go right to it. Nope. On to the next store.
It's fast.
Like, so fast. Like I'll literally walk into Nordstrom. People usually get overwhelmed. Not me. I walk in. I'm like, that's black. Let me look. Nope. Yes. And I'm like, oh, I looked at everything that was black here. Gotta go.
I love that. What are your favorite places to shop?
Oh, let's see. This is, I love this brand. It's at Nordstrom. I don't know how to say it. It's like Syncticept 57.
Okay.
I'm so bad at saying the name.
No, it's beautiful.
But I love their brand. Let's see. Veronica Beard at Nordstrom's great. I'll buy some stuff from Zara.
Oh, I love Zara. Yeah.
Guilty for Zara.
Yeah, this entire suit is Zara.
Yeah. And then you match it with the Valentino shoes and it looks like you're wearing something, you know.
High-low.
So, yeah, exactly.
That's great. What do you like to do in your free time?
Oh my gosh.
When you're not building businesses.
I am obsessed with Pilates.
Oh, tell me about that.
I'm actually going to Pilates after this.
Okay.
Yeah, I got into Pilates a couple months ago, but I've always been into fitness.
Sure.
But I was into lifting because that was all that I was taught. And so I hated how my body looked when I lifted. I'm like, why do I just look so bulky? I'm like, I hate this. And so I started to do Pilates and my entire body changed. I feel so good. And I get excited when I go to Pilates, and I do it like 4 times a week. And Nina, my friend Nina, her and I do it together every week, and we don't miss it. And we go to like 6 a.m. solid core classes together. Like we don't miss one.
It's good that you have an accountability partner.
I know, yeah.
Because I'll see it's like so 5:58. You guys post, and I'm like,
what's going on?
Damn, girl.
I know. You know what's so funny is I was talking to somebody the other day about how I go work out so early. I'm like, look, it is so much better than working out at 4 o'clock because I'm delusional at this time. I
Yeah.
don't even remember the workout. I'm so out of it when I'm doing the workout that I
Yeah.
don't feel it like in
don't
a
even
good way.
realize.
I'll feel it later, but I don't feel it in the moment.
Yeah, I'm
And
with
I'm
you.
like done with it. And I'm like, oh, I don't really remember what just happened because I'm so tired.
Yeah. You're still kind of sleepy.
Yeah,
And you're
yeah.
just like doing the motions. That's great. I love that.
Yeah. So huge believer in Pilates. If you haven't found that fitness routine for yourself yet, just try Pilates.
And it's nice that it's low impact too.
Low impact, yeah, but it can be high.
Yeah. The reformers.
So I've been doing what's called Legree. I don't know if you've heard of Legree.
Yes.
That is a whole other beast. And then I do hot Pilates once a week too. And so when I do those two, it feels like I'm doing like a HIIT workout almost.
Yeah.
And then the Pilates is almost more of like a mental thing for me, like a stretch where I get to go and just like turn my mind off, relax, and stretch. I don't think we stretch our body enough.
Yeah, I don't think we do either.
Yeah, which is wild.
Yeah, I'll see people just kind of like walk off like after a workout and they're like, hey, bye. And they don't do the stretching. And I'm like, oh, I don't think that's good. So yeah, that's really good that you're doing that.
Yeah. What do you do for a routine?
I do Orange Theory Fitness.
Nice. Okay.
But I was doing F45 for a while. I felt like it was really high intensity.
That is very high.
And so I've done Pilates before, Legree, at the Body Lab many moons ago. And I loved it. And I did feel like that was when my body looked the best.
Yeah.
And what I liked about it was like slow but tough movements. You're definitely like working those tiny muscles that never get like attention. But it also was like relaxing and not this like high like cortisol I'm maxing myself out here. And I feel like your body then can like calm and like adapt.
Yeah.
So maybe I should get back into that. Now you're motivating me.
Yeah. I feel like I'm more toned than ever. It's crazy. And then I love to walk. I walk like every night. When it's hot here, I'm bummed because I have to go use a treadmill. But I'm a huge believer in just walking, especially for women.
Yeah.
There's a lot of benefits as far as like hormones go, cortisol levels. You know, it's so great for the body. Incline walking too is a great thing for the booty.
Yep.
You know, I don't think enough people walk. Like if you just need to move your body, please go on a walk. You know, there's actually so many benefits to it physically too. Like I notice a huge difference when I do like a 45-minute incline walk, like a couple times a week. Yeah.
That's great. I think that like the rest of the world has figured out the walking, and
I see it a lot on TikTok.
Like in Europe, I mean, everyone walks everywhere and
exactly.
bicycle and all of that kind of stuff. And just like kind of in the States, we're a little more like sedentary.
We're all just sitting at our desks, like not moving much. And then when we leave the office, we go and we sit on the couch at home. We sit at the dining room and eat our dinner.
And it's just very sedentary.
Don't move enough.
Yeah. I like that. You're motivating me. Okay. I'm going to do the 558.
We will go together.
Pilates.
You tell me when.
Hey, okay.
You tell me when.
I would love that.
Yeah, let's
that way
do
I'm
it.
not like in there by myself being like, oh my gosh, I'm a beginner again.
I know. It's so fun. Like Nina and I will giggle at each other because I always forget my left and rights when we're there. So I always do the opposite leg. And she's like, Jaclyn, like you're doing the wrong leg. You got the instructor moving my body around. I'm like, how do I have 4 businesses yet I can't remember what my left and right is?
It's because it's 5:58 in the morning.
Yeah, right. That's what I'm saying. You're delusional. I'm just like, at least I'm moving.
That's right. At least you're there. And
whatever
you're
leg happens to get in front, we're going to work that one.
Yeah, I love that.
Yeah.
Well, what is on your horizon for 2025 aside from Dubai, which I'm so excited for you on that?
You know, I think the dream for me going into 2025 is to build out a membership program where it's more than personal brand. It's, you know, weekly Zoom calls to talk about everything and anything, just female empowerment, you know, sales I'm really passionate about because if you can figure out personal brand, you can figure out content creation, and you get people on a call, do you know how to close them? Do you know how to sell them? You know, you can be the best at creating content and be a creative, but are you confident and do you understand sales?
Right.
So I have learned sales and I've practiced sales. I study sales. It's like my number one trait. Like I love sales. I feel like I can sell anybody in a room. I'm confident about it. And a lot of women really struggle with that. And that's what I'm finding in my program. They're like, I'm getting inquiries. What do I do next? And I'm like, that's the problem right there. Because if you don't know how to sell, you're not going to make money. And so now I'm leaning more into how do I just educate women with sales, give them that empowerment, that confidence to grow the business and make money.
Sure.
You know,
That's
content's
great.
fun all day long. Personal brand's fun, but
Right.
let's make some money.
Yep.
Yeah. So
That's great.
2025 is how do I put this all together and just really teach women this blueprint of how to just do it, be successful.
That's great. I mean, I'm pretty sure you're going to figure out how to do that just based on your history. So I have no doubt.
Yeah.
No
It's
doubt.
exciting for me because I feel the most fulfilled when people are getting results, when they're working with me. And so
Great.
I'm just really excited to pour that information into people because I've never taught sales before.
Okay.
So it's very different for me. So I'm almost figuring it out like, well, how do you teach sales? Like,
Sure.
I just remember, objections that I get on my calls.
Right.
How do you teach people this? So I'm figuring it out day by day. That's what you do. I'm being honest. It's just, we don't know what we're doing ever when we're building a business. You just
Sure.
figure it out.
As you go along.
Back to speed. Like you find a niche and you say, yep, like people need to learn sales better, especially women, and you go for it.
Yeah.
Teach them.
You're going to teach them.
Yeah. Not many women are teaching sales either.
Very true. I think that that's just kind of not like a
dominating.
role that they would put women in historically. So way to be a pioneer in that. So what is one trend that you're seeing in social media that you feel like this trend needs to die immediately?
High polished content.
Okay.
Evergreen organic content is what is flying right now. And that's just meaning authentic content. So just showing people the raw you. You don't even have to have fancy cameras or anything set up to create really good content that's going to connect with people. So if your only focus is I need to have the best camera, the best lights, the best mic to make content, you're going to fail the second you make content because you need to know what the heck you're going to even talk about and just be you and just use your iPhone.
Yeah.
Just
I love
use
that.
your iPhone. Use cinematic mode. There's no such thing as having like fancy equipment. There's a time and the place for it, but not on social media, personal branding. If you do campaigns like ads, get the fancy cameras out, but not every day.
Okay. That's a great tip.
Yeah.
Awesome. Where can people find you if they want to work with you?
Well, of course, on social media. That's like the number way to connect with me. All my handles are It's Jaclyn Taylor. So you can find me on TikTok, Instagram the most. Those are the two platforms that I'm extremely heavy on right now. If you send me a DM and it's a video specifically, I'll respond back.
Okay. Get the video DM.
Get the
15
videos
seconds.
going. Yep. Yeah. Come say hi.
Talk to you about your golden doodle. Let's connect.
Yep. Yeah. And your personal brand.
Well, thank you so much for coming on.
Absolutely.
It
Thank
was
you
so
so
much
much for
fun
having me.
talking with you.
Yeah. I love it. Thank you
Sky's
so
the
much.
limit for 2025.
100%.
Thank you for tuning in to Talk Legal to Me. Remember, you can listen to us everywhere you get your podcasts, including Spotify and Apple. And if you want to watch along, visit my YouTube channel at Lawyer Gordi. Until next time, stay informed, stay legal, and stay fabulous, besties.